with their goods stuck at ports and filling up warehouses, pending clearance since June this year, facing huge demurrage charges, all amid a COVID-19 onslaught on businesses. Such is a wrong time to face what traders have termed an unfair tax policy.
With this new unfair tax policy, whereby the government, before we used to pay 25%, but with this new increment, it's 35%. And then the $3 per kilo. So it implies where someone was paying 100 millions or 150 millions, there have been a great increment to 200 millions or 350 millions, depending on the size of the container. So we find that, basing on the current economic situation, we as the people in the business community or the traders, we cannot even afford paying that money. It's pushing us totally out of business.
In a letter dated 4th August, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija appeared to direct the taxman to stay rates, factoring in increments on weights instead.
And implementation of the Minister's directive is effective tomorrow, Wednesday. Yes, per kilo is applicable on textiles and garments which are manufactured in Uganda. But for textiles and garments which are not manufactured in Uganda, the rate is at 35%. What has changed is that it used to be 35% or $3 or $3.5 per kilo, whichever is higher. So when you would put in the valuation aspect and the computation, whichever would be higher would be the value for weights. So the 35% would not arise, and so the taxes would go higher, would be much higher.
With over 22 trillion shillings target in sight, the Uganda Revenue Authority on July 1st started implementing the 3.5% per kilo or 35% tax, up from 25% on textiles.
Uganda Build Uganda, it's only favoring Nightil and a certain company called Christex Garments. Christex Garments, we don't know, and we are yet to know whether it has the capacity to sustain the economy and the demands for garments and textile, whatever, products. We don't know whether it's a factory or it's just a company importing and imposing such whatever taxes on us. It becomes very unfair because the person you're protecting is also an importer.
Some, with the hope of seeing their businesses recover from the deadly pandemic fever, may now have to wait a little longer.